Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today's video is going to be my May TBR, and if you've seen my previous TBR videos, you may recognize some of these books because I'm once again putting them on here, determined to actually stick to my TBR this month. I've got my coffee, so let's talk about some books. Okay, so the first books I'm going to talk to you about are the books that are part of series that I have ongoing. If you're new around here, I have over 150 books of books that I have in series that I have ongoing, because last year I just kept adding to books instead of finishing the series I had ongoing already. So I'm hoping that I'm going to whittle this down a bit more, and I'm trying not to start any new series until I get the list down a bit. So these are the books that are on my TBR this month that are part of those series that I have ongoing. So the first two books are Hoops and Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. These are the first two books in the Hoops trilogy, or the Hoops series. I actually have read Hoops already, and I need to read Block Shot, but it's been over a year since I read Hoops, and I just want a refresh of the world. I remember thinking that the first book was like such a beautifully written story, but it was definitely a tough read because of some of the things that happen in it, so make sure you check triggers. But I really want to reread the first one, and you'll see that this is a common theme, is that I want to reread the first book in a lot of these series before I continue on with the series. I know that these can be read as standalones, but I just really want to read the series. I want the experience of reading about like the friend group, or I'm not actually sure exactly how these books interconnect, but I want to read the experience. If you haven't read these are basketball romances, and Kennedy Ryan has like beautiful writing skills, so I'm really excited and want to read these books again. But I'm only putting the first two because I'm trying to be realistic a bit more this month about what I can actually read. The next book is going to sound familiar if you've seen my previous two TBRs, and it is My Sinful Love by Lauren Blakely. This is the fourth book in the Sinful Men series. I love this series. It's a romantic suspense. I really loved the first two. The third one was just okay to me, but I am really excited I really want to continue reading this series. The audiobooks are free on Audible if you're a member, so it's an easy way to pick up a book. I believe they might also be on Kindle Unlimited now. They used to be on Kobo Plus, but I'm pretty sure they're on Kindle Unlimited now. I really like Lauren Blakely's books, so I need to continue with the series. I took a break after the third one was just meh, but I want to get back into the series, so I'm hoping that this month is the month that I actually read this book. The next two books are Ninth House and Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. These are the books in the Alex Stern series. The second book, Hellbent, came out earlier this year, I think in January, but I read Ninth House, I think it was 2020 or 2021. I can't remember which year, but it's been a few years, and I really want to refresh myself on the magic system because I remember being a little bit confused about that, but I do still remember what the cliffhanger it was because it made quite the impression on me. So I am really excited to hopefully be getting some answers from that. I also loved Alex's book. I thought she was such a badass, so I'm excited to pick up this series again. The next book is also going to seem familiar if you've watched my previous two TBRs, and it is Heartstopper Volume 2. I really want to continue with the story. I really loved the first book, and I immediately went out and picked up all the physical copies of them because I loved it so much. But since then, I just haven't been gravitating towards it. I just haven't picked up a graphic novel. So I'm only putting the second one on my TBR this month in hopes that I actually at least pick up this one this month. I think Nick and Charlie are so cute, so I need to read this one. I really need to read this. Yell at me in the comments at my May wrap up if I have not read this book yet, please. The next books are Love Light Farms and In the Weeds by B.K. Borson. These are the first two books in the Love Light series. I really want to get back into this series. I read the first one when it came out at Christmas time that year, but I was kind of in a weird headspace. If you watched my previous TBR, I also had Love Light Farms on this, but I think if I have both of them, it's going to motivate me more to read it, because I don't know, it just feels weird about picking up a Christmas book, especially when it's finally starting to get nice in Canada. So it feels weird to pick up a Christmas book, but I'm hoping that by putting both of these on here, I will read both of them this month, because I do really want to read In the Weeds, and I'm blanking on the third one, but I'm only going to put the first two on here for now. I'm almost embarrassed that these ones are still on my TBR, but I also have Garnet Flats and Jasper Vale on my TBR again this month. I really do love this series. I don't know why, I just haven't been gravitating towards it. I think it's because I've been really into fantasy lately, so I just haven't been gravitating towards small town romances, but I love romantic suspense in these books, and Devney Perry does romantic suspense so well, so I really need to read these. Again, this is another one that please yell at me in the comments if I don't read it this month, because this is just embarrassing at this point. Okay, the last two books in the series I have ongoing part of this video is Where Good Girls Go to Die and Where Bad Girls Go to Fall, which is the first two books in Good Girls by Holly Renee. I loved the first one. It was the perfect, short, almost novella length brother's best friend that I was looking for at the time. I have not read a really good brother's best friend that was full of angst in so long, and I finally found it in this book. So I really want to reread the first one because I just remember loving it, but who knows, my tastes have changed a little bit. I still love the trope, but I just haven't found a good one in a while, and I want to reignite my spark for that trope. So I'm hoping that these will do that, and then I can also start reading the other books in this trilogy so that I can get that off my list. If you're looking for a good, really short brother's best friend that's going to give you the angst and tension that you're looking for, it's also a second chance romance, this is going to be the one for you. I definitely recommend. Okay, so moving on to standalone books that I want to read this month. The first book is Babel, which is my in-person book club pick for this month, and I am so excited to read this. I've heard really good things about it. I also have the special edition Fairy Loot copy of it, and it's so gorgeous. I almost don't want to read this one. I want to get a copy to actually read, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to read this copy. But it's absolutely freaking stunning. It's got nice sprayed edges and stencil work, and the inside and the outside, gorgeous. So I'm really excited to read this one. This is one that I will definitely be getting to because I have to read my book club books, but I'm also just really excited about this one. Okay, so I also have All the Light We Cannot See again this month. Will I actually read this? Who knows? Probably not. I'm being completely honest. I probably will not pick this book up, but I do want to read it. I don't know. I'm not even in my... I had originally put this on because I was in a historical fiction mood, but and now at this point I just want to read it so that to say I've read it. So it's on my TBR. Will I actually get to it? Who knows? Then the next book on my TBR is Fool Me Twice by Carrie Aarons. I read Love at First Sight by Carrie Aarons for a reading vlog a little while ago, and I did really enjoy it. I found it really a short, quick, good read, and so I want to read more books by Carrie Aarons, so I'm putting this one on here. It's the second most popular book by her on Goodreads, so hopefully I like it as much as Love at First Sight, but this one doesn't have quite as good of ratings, but I feel like I'm probably going to at least enjoy it. The next book on my TBR is one that has also been on here for a while, and it's The Grace Kelly Dress by Brenda Janowitz. This is a book that I bought so long ago that I honestly don't even remember what it's about, but I'm trying to read my backlist of books, so that's why this one is on here. I don't really have much more to say about it. Because I really don't know what it's about. I assume it's historical fiction. I don't know if it has romance in it. I'm hoping that there's a romance in it. but who knows? Then I have Best Men by Sydney Carger on here. This is a new release that's coming out in May. That is I'm going to talk to you about in a video that is coming out or has already been out by May releases. But basically this is about it is a queer opposites attract romance that is about the like groom's best man and the bride's man of honor. It sounds really good. I really want to read it. So it made it onto the list because it's one that I want to pick up, and it's one that comes out near the beginning of the month, so I have lots of time to actually pick it up and read it. The next book I have on my TBR is Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. This one I'm pretty sure I have as an audiobook. So and I believe it's a YA romance. So it'll be like a super quick audiobook that I can just throw on while I'm doing other stuff. I always like to have at least one of these on here. It also sounds really cute. I've heard really good things about it. So I think this one will be one that I hopefully actually read, and I'm really looking forward to picking it up. Then I have Ace of Spades by Farida Abika Imide. I have heard nothing but really great things about this. It is a YA thriller mystery, and I kind of have been wanting to pick up books that are not necessarily always in romance. So I thought this one would be a good one. I've had it on my shelf for a while and something about it was just calling to me this month. So I'm really excited to read it. I've heard really, really good things about it. So hopefully I actually get to it. Okay, and last but not least, I have Well Played by V.I. Keelan and Penelope Ward. These are one of my favorite like writing duos, and I really want to get through more of their backlist because they come out with books all the time and I try to keep up with them, but I don't always succeed, but I've heard really good things about this one from their backlist. I believe it is a sports romance, which are probably my favorite books that are written by them is when they're sports romances. So I'm hoping that I will really love this one when I actually pick it up. Okay, so that's all the books that I'm really hoping that I get to in May. Who knows if I will actually stick to it or not, because I am a bit of a mood reader, and although I try to pick books off my TBR, it just doesn't always happen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below of a book that you're really looking forward to reading this month. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.